As I stood at the edge of the forest, the trees seemed to whisper secrets in my ear. The wind rustled through their leaves, carrying the whispers to me like a whispered warning. I felt a shiver run down my spine as I realised that something was amiss. The villagers had spoken of an ancient kingdom hidden beyond the veil, where darkness and shadows lurked. They warned me of the dangers that lay within its borders, but I couldn't help feeling drawn to it. The allure of the unknown was too great, and I felt compelled to explore this mysterious realm. As I gazed out at the forest, I saw that it seemed to be alive. The trees swayed gently in the breeze, their branches creaking and groaning like old wooden doors opening onto a dark and foreboding world. I felt as though I was being pulled towards the kingdom, as if an unseen force was drawing me closer. The villagers had told me that the forest was full of secrets and lies, but I couldn't help feeling drawn to it. As I stepped into the trees, I felt a sense of unease growing within me. The silence was oppressive, like a heavy blanket smothering me with its darkness. As I walked deeper into the forest, I began to notice that something was off. The trees seemed to be closing in around me, their branches tangling together like skeletal fingers. I felt as though I was being trapped, as if the forest itself was trying to keep me from reaching the ancient kingdom. As I emerged from the forest, I saw it, the ancient kingdom rising like a shadowy monolith from the earth. Its towers loomed above me, their stone walls dripping with moss and lichen. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and decay. I approached the kingdom, my heart pounding in my chest. As I passed through its gates, I felt a sense of unease creeping over me. The silence within was oppressive, as if the very air itself was heavy with secrets and lies. As I walked through the streets, I saw that they were narrow and winding, like a maze designed to confuse and disorient. The buildings seemed to twist and writhe, like living serpents coiled around each other. I felt as though I was being pulled towards some unknown fate, as if the kingdom itself was drawing me closer. The darkness seemed to be growing thicker, like a palpable force that surrounded me on all sides. As I walked deeper into the kingdom, I began to notice that something was off. The buildings seemed to be shifting and changing, like living things moving around me. I felt as though I was trapped in a dream, with no escape from the darkness that lurked within. As I walked through the kingdom, I saw that it was unlike anything I had ever seen. The buildings seemed to twist and writhe, like living serpents coiled around each other. The streets were narrow and winding, as if designed to confuse and disorient. I felt a sense of trepidation growing within me, as if the very fabric of reality was unravelling before my eyes. I knew that I had entered a realm where darkness and shadows lurked, where the light of day was but a distant memory. As I walked deeper into the dark realm, I began to notice that something was off. The shadows seemed to be moving around me, like living things crawling across the ground. I felt as though I was being surrounded by an army of darkness, with no escape from its crushing weight. The air was thick with the scent of decay and death, as if the very fabric of reality was rotting away before my eyes. I knew that I had to find a way out, before it was too late. As I walked deeper into the dark realm, I began to notice that something was off. The darkness seemed to be growing thicker, like a palpable force that surrounded me on all sides. I felt as though I was being crushed by its weight, with no escape from its crushing power. As I walked through the kingdom, I began to notice that I was being watched. The villagers had warned me of the secret keepers who dwelled within these walls, their eyes glowing like embers from a dying fire. They whispered secrets in my ear, their voices cold and calculating. I knew that they were waiting for me, their patience growing thin with each passing moment. I felt as though I was being trapped, as if the kingdom itself was keeping me from escaping. As I walked deeper into the kingdom, I began to notice that something was off. The secret keepers seemed to be watching me from every corner, their eyes glowing like embers from a dying fire. I felt as though I was being surrounded by an army of darkness, with no escape from its crushing weight. The air was thick with the scent of deceit and betrayal, as if the very fabric of reality was rotting away before my eyes. I knew that I had to find a way out before it was too late. As I walked deeper into the kingdom, I began to notice that something was off. The secret keepers seemed to be whispering secrets in my ear, their voices cold and calculating. I felt as though I was being trapped, as if the kingdom itself was keeping me from escaping. As I walked through the kingdom, I saw that it was not what it seemed. The villagers had warned me of the ancient kingdom's dark history, of the betrayals and lies that lay at its heart. I felt a sense of shock and betrayal growing within me, as if the very foundations of my reality were crumbling beneath my feet. I knew that I had been played, that the secret keepers had manipulated me from the start. The darkness raged on, but I knew that I had to find a way out, before it was too late. As I walked deeper into the kingdom, I began to notice that something was off. The villagers seemed to be watching me from every corner, their eyes glowing like embers from a dying fire. I felt as though I was being surrounded by an army of darkness, with no escape from its crushing weight. The air was thick with the scent of deceit and betrayal, as if the very fabric of reality was rotting away before my eyes. I knew that I had to find a way out, before it was too late. The air grew thick with an eerie silence as I ventured deeper into the kingdom's depths. The villagers' whispers seemed to fade away, replaced by the creaking of ancient wooden beams and the distant rumble of forgotten machinery. I followed the winding path, my footsteps echoing off the cold stone walls. The scent of decay and death clung to me like a shroud, as if the very fabric of reality was rotting away before my eyes. The darkness seemed to press in around me, like a physical force trying to crush me beneath its weight. I felt an overwhelming sense of unease, as if I was being slowly suffocated by the kingdom's oppressive atmosphere. As I descended further, the shadows grew longer and darker, like skeletal fingers reaching out to snatch at my heels. I knew I had to find a way out before it was too late. Hidden symbols etched into the walls seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, drawing me deeper into the depths of the kingdom. Ancient runes glowed like embers in the darkness, casting flickering shadows across the cold stone floor. I stumbled upon hidden chambers and secret passages, each one revealing a new layer of mystery and intrigue. The villagers' whispers seemed to take on a new significance, as if they were trying to warn me away from the very secrets I was uncovering. As I delved deeper into the depths, I began to unravel the threads of the kingdom's dark history. I saw that it was a tapestry woven from ancient rituals and forgotten lore, with each thread tied to the others in a complex dance of secrecy and deceit. I knew that I had to be careful. One misstep could send me tumbling into the abyss, lost forever in the darkness that lurked beneath the kingdom's surface. The air was thick with tension as I confronted the secrets and lies that lay at the heart of the kingdom. I felt like a fly caught in a spider's web, struggling to free myself from the sticky threads of deceit and betrayal. I saw that the villagers were mere puppets, their strings pulled by the dark forces that lurk beneath the surface. Their whispers seemed to take on a new significance, as if they were trying to warn me away from the very darkness that surrounded me. As I confronted the truth, I felt like I was staring into the abyss, with no safety net to catch me if I fell. The darkness seemed to press in around me, like a physical force trying to crush me beneath its weight. I knew that I had to be brave. One misstep could send me tumbling into the abyss, lost forever in the darkness that lurked beneath the kingdom's surface. But I also knew that I had to uncover the truth, no matter how painful it was. As I made my way back out of the depths, I felt like I was escaping from a nightmare, with the dark forces of the kingdom hot on my heels. I knew that I had to find a way to outrun them before they caught up with me and dragged me back into the abyss. I stumbled through the darkness, my heart pounding in my chest. The villagers' whispers seemed to echo in my ears, like a haunting melody that refused to fade away. As I emerged from the depths, I saw that the kingdom was bathed in an eerie light, like a cold moon rising over a grave. I knew that I had to get out of there, before it was too late. I stumbled through the darkness, my heart pounding in my chest. The villagers' whispers seemed to fade away, replaced by the distant rumble of forgotten machinery and the creaking of ancient wooden beams. As I looked back at the kingdom, I saw that it was a prison, with its walls closing in around me like a vice. I knew that I had to escape before it was too late. I stumbled out of the kingdom, my heart pounding in my chest. The darkness seemed to cling to me like a shroud, as if I had been forever changed by my journey into the depths. As I looked back at the kingdom, I saw that it was a scar, a wound that would never fully heal. I knew that I had to get away from there, before it was too late. I stumbled through the darkness, my heart pounding in my chest. The villagers' whispers seemed to echo in my ears, like a haunting melody that refused to fade away. As I emerged into the light of day, I saw that the world was different. The shadows seemed to have changed, as if they had grown longer and darker overnight. I knew that I had to be careful. One misstep could send me tumbling back into the abyss. I stumbled through the darkness, my heart pounding in my chest. The villagers' whispers seemed to echo in my ears, like a haunting melody that refused to fade away. As I walked, I began to uncover the secrets of the kingdom. I saw that it was a trap, a web of deceit and betrayal that had been spun around me like a spider's web. I knew that I had to be brave. One misstep could send me tumbling back into the abyss. But I also knew that I had to uncover the truth, no matter how painful it was. As I walked out of the darkness, I saw that the world was different. The shadows seemed to have changed, as if they had grown lighter and more manageable overnight. I knew that I had found a way out, but at what cost? I stumbled through the darkness, my heart pounding in my chest. The villagers' whispers seemed to echo in my ears, like a haunting melody that refused to fade away. As I looked back at the kingdom, I saw that it was a prison, a trap that had been designed to keep me captive forever. But I knew that I had found a way out, and I would never go back. As I walked away from the kingdom, I couldn't help but reflect on my journey. I thought about the secrets I had uncovered, the lies I had been told, and the darkness that lurked beneath the surface. I realised that I had been living in a world of illusions, where nothing was as it seemed. The villagers' whispers had been just that. Whispers, not truths. And the kingdom's shadows had been hiding something far more sinister than I could have ever imagined. As I looked back at the kingdom, I saw that it was a symbol of my own fears and doubts. It was a reminder that I had been living in a state of ignorance, unaware of the true nature of reality. But as I walked away from the darkness, I knew that I had found a new path, one that would lead me to truth and understanding. I knew that I would never forget my journey into the kingdom, but I also knew that I would not be held back by its shadows again. As I walked away from the kingdom, I felt a sense of closure wash over me. I had uncovered the secrets, faced my fears, and emerged victorious. I knew that I would never forget the journey I had taken, but I also knew that I would not be defined by it. I was no longer the same person who had walked into the kingdom, naive and unsuspecting. As I looked back at the kingdom, I saw that it was just a memory now, a reminder of what I had overcome and what I had learned. And as I continued on my path, I knew that I would always carry the lessons of the kingdom with me, guiding me towards a brighter future. As I walked away from the darkness, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. I knew that I had found a new beginning, one that was free from the shadows and the lies. I looked back at the kingdom, but it was just a distant memory now, a reminder of what I had overcome and what I had learned. And as I continued on my path, I knew that I would always carry the lessons of the kingdom with me, guiding me towards a brighter future. And so I walked away from the darkness into a new dawn, where the shadows no longer loomed large, and the whispers were just distant echoes in the wind. As I walked away from the kingdom, I knew that I had left behind a legacy of sorts. The villagers would whisper about my journey, about how I had uncovered the secrets and faced my fears. And as they whispered, I knew that they would begin to see the world in a new light. They would realise that nothing was as it seemed, that even the most seemingly innocent villages could hide dark secrets. I knew that my journey would inspire others to seek out the truth, to uncover the lies and face their fears. And as they did, I knew that the darkness would begin to recede, replaced by a brighter light of understanding and courage. As I walked away from the kingdom, I felt a sense of excitement wash over me. I knew that I had started a new chapter in my life, one that was free from the shadows and the lies. I looked around at the world, full of wonder and curiosity. I knew that there were still secrets to uncover, still fears to face. But I also knew that I was ready for whatever lay ahead. As I walked into the unknown, I felt a sense of peace wash over me. I knew that I had found my true path, one that would lead me to where I belonged. As I walked away from the kingdom, I knew that I was being watched. I could feel eyes upon me, cold and calculating. And as I looked around, I saw a figure emerging from the shadows. It was the king himself, his face twisted with anger and betrayal. He sneered at me, his voice dripping with venom. "You may have uncovered my secrets," he spat, "but you will never leave this place alive." And with that, he lunged at me, his sword flashing in the dim light. As the king's sword flashed towards me, I knew that I had to act fast. I raised my own sword, ready to defend myself against his attack. The two of us clashed, our swords ringing out in the silence. I parried and riposted, trying to find an opening to strike back at the king. But he was a formidable opponent. His skills honed from years of battling in the shadows, he fought with all his might, determined to kill me before I could escape. As we battled on, I began to tire. My sword arm grew heavy, my breathing laboured. I knew that I couldn't keep this up for much longer. But then I saw a glimmer of hope. The king's guard was weakening, his eyes beginning to cloud with exhaustion. I took advantage of the opportunity, striking back with all my might. The king stumbled backwards, his sword slipping from his grasp. I took advantage of the opening, striking him down with a swift and decisive blow. As the king fell to the ground, I stood over him, victorious but weary. I knew that this was the end of the line for me, that I had finally found what I had been seeking all along. But as I looked around at the darkness, I saw something else. I saw a figure emerging from the shadows, a figure who seemed to be watching me with an intensity that made my blood run cold. And in that moment, I knew that this was not the end of my journey after all. As I stood over the king's lifeless body, I saw the figure emerging from the shadows. It was a woman, tall and statuesque, with piercing green eyes that seemed to bore into my very soul. She approached me slowly, her movements deliberate and calculated. I could feel a sense of power emanating from her, a sense of authority that made me want to tremble with fear. But as she drew closer, I saw something else in her eyes. I saw a glimmer of recognition, a hint that she knew who I was and what I had been through. "Welcome, traveller," she said, her voice low and husky. "I have been waiting for you." I felt a shiver run down my spine as she spoke. I knew that I was in the presence of someone powerful, someone who could change the course of my life forever. "What do you want from me?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "I want to show you something," she replied, her eyes glinting with mischief. "Something that will change everything." And with that, she reached out and took my hand, leading me into the unknown. As we walked through the darkness, I felt a sense of unease growing inside me. I knew that this woman was not what she seemed, that there was something more to her than met the eye. But as we approached the edge of the forest, I saw it. I saw a glimmer of light, a hint of hope in the distance. And then I saw it. I saw a castle, tall and imposing, with towers reaching towards the sky. It was a place of beauty and wonder, a place where magic and mystery seemed to lurk around every corner. The woman led me to the entrance of the castle, her hand still holding mine. And as we stepped inside, I knew that this was it. This was the moment of truth, the moment when everything would be revealed. But what I saw next took my breath away. I saw a figure standing in the shadows, a figure who seemed to be watching us with an intensity that made my blood run cold. It was a woman, tall and statuesque, with piercing green eyes that seemed to bore into my very soul. She was dressed in a flowing white gown, her hair styled in intricate braids that seemed to shimmer in the light. And then I knew what she was, who she was. She was the queen of this castle, the one who had been waiting for me all along. "Welcome, traveller," she said, her voice low and husky. "I have been waiting for you." I felt a shiver run down my spine as she spoke. I knew that I was in the presence of someone powerful, someone who could change the course of my life forever. As the queen spoke, her eyes seemed to bore into mine, as if searching for something deep within me. I felt a sense of unease growing inside me, but also a sense of curiosity. "What do you want from me?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. The Queen smiled, her lips curving upwards in a mysterious smile. "I have been waiting for someone like you," she said. "Someone who can help me with a problem that has been plaguing me for quite some time." She paused, her eyes glinting with intensity. "You see, traveller, this kingdom is cursed. A dark magic has taken hold, and it threatens to destroy everything we hold dear." I felt a surge of excitement at her words. I had heard rumours of this curse, but I had never imagined that I would be the one to help break it. "What can I do?" I asked, my heart pounding in my chest. The Queen's smile grew wider. "You have a special gift," she said, "one that allows you to see beyond the veil of reality. You must use this gift to uncover the source of the curse and put an end to it once and for all." I felt a shiver run down my spine at her words. I knew that I was in over my head, but I also knew that I had no choice. I had to help the Queen break this curse. "What do you mean by beyond the veil of reality?" I asked, my curiosity getting the better of me. The Queen's smile grew even wider. "Ah, traveller," she said, you will see everything." And with that, she led me deeper into the castle, towards a secret that would change everything forever. As we walked through the winding corridors of the castle, I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease growing inside me. I had heard rumours of this veil of reality before, but I had never imagined that I would be the one to experience it firsthand. The Queen led me to a small, dimly lit room, deep in the heart of the castle. The walls were lined with ancient tomes and strange artefacts, and the air was thick with the scent of old books and dust. "This is where you will see beyond the veil," the Queen said, her eyes glinting with intensity. "You must be careful, traveller. What you are about to see is not for the faint of heart." She handed me a small, leather-bound book. It was bound in black leather and adorned with strange symbols that seemed to shift and writhe in the dim light. "This is the key," she said. "With this book, you will be able to see beyond the veil and uncover the secrets of the curse." I took the book hesitantly, feeling a sense of trepidation wash over me. I had heard stories about this book before, how it was said to hold the power to reveal hidden truths and secrets. As I opened the book, I felt a strange sensation wash over me. The room seemed to grow darker, as if the very fabric of reality was beginning to unravel. And then I saw it. I saw everything. I saw the curse that had been laid upon the kingdom, and I saw the source of its power. I saw the Queen's secrets, and I saw the true nature of this strange and mystical world. But as I gazed upon the veil of reality, I knew that I was not alone. I felt a presence behind me, a presence that seemed to be watching me with an intensity that made my blood run cold. And in that moment, I knew that my journey had just begun. As I gazed upon the veil of reality, I felt a sudden jolt of fear. I saw things that I couldn't explain, things that seemed to defy logic and reason. But before I could process what I was seeing, I heard a voice behind me. It was low and menacing, and it sent shivers down my spine. "Welcome, traveller," the voice said. "I've been waiting for you." I spun around, trying to see who was speaking to me, but there was no one in sight. The voice seemed to be coming from all around me, echoing off the walls of the room. "I don't know what game you're playing," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "But I'm not going to play along." The voice laughed, a cold and mirthless sound. "You have no choice but to play along," it said. "You see, traveller, you are the key to breaking the curse, and without you, the kingdom will be doomed forever." I felt a surge of anger at the voice's words. Who was this person, and what did they want from me? "I'm not going to help you," I said, trying to sound brave. "I don't care about your cursed kingdom or your secrets. I just want to get out of here and go home." The voice laughed again, its tone dripping with sarcasm. "Oh, traveller," it said, "you are so naive. You think you can just walk away from this? No, you will stay and help me, and if you don't, well, let's just say that the consequences will be dire." I felt a cold sweat breaking out on my forehead as I realised the gravity of the situation. I was trapped, and there was no escape. But as I looked around at the veil of reality, I saw something else. I saw a glimmer of hope, a chance to change the course of events. And with that, I knew what I had to do. I took a deep breath, squared my shoulders, and stepped forward into the unknown. As I stepped forward, I felt a surge of determination coursing through my veins. I knew that I couldn't let the voice's threats intimidate me, not when the fate of the kingdom was at stake. "I'll do it," I said, my voice firm and resolute. "I'll help you break the curse." The voice laughed again, its tone dripping with sarcasm. "Excellent choice, traveller," it said. "You won't regret your decision yet." With that, the Queen led me to a secret chamber deep within the castle. The room was filled with ancient artifacts and mysterious devices, and I could feel the weight of history bearing down on me. "This is where the curse was cast," the Queen said, her eyes gleaming with determination. "This is where we will find the key to breaking it." As we worked together, I began to realise just how complex the curse was. It was a tangled web of magic and ritual, woven from threads of darkness and despair. But I refused to give up. I knew that I had to push through the challenges ahead if I wanted to save the kingdom and break the curse. And so, with the Queen's guidance, I delved deeper into the mysteries of the castle, determined to unravel the secrets of the curse once and for all. As we worked together, I began to feel a sense of unease growing inside me. The curse was powerful, and I knew that I was no match for it alone. But with the Queen's help, I was able to tap into its power, using its energy to fuel my own abilities. And as we reached the heart of the castle, I felt a surge of confidence coursing through my veins. "Let us face whatever lies ahead," I said, my voice steady and resolute. The Queen nodded, her eyes gleaming with determination. "Together we will break the curse once and for all." And with that we stepped forward, ready to face whatever lay ahead. As we reached the heart of the castle, I could feel the weight of the curse bearing down on me. It was a palpable force, a darkness that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. But I refused to back down. With the Queen's help, I had come too far to turn back now. "We are here," she said, her voice low and urgent. "The source of the curse is before us." I gazed ahead, my eyes fixed on a glowing crystal that seemed to pulse with an eerie light. It was surrounded by a halo of darkness, and I could feel its power calling to me. "This is it," I said, my voice steady and resolute. "This is where we will break the curse once and for all." The Queen nodded, her eyes gleaming with determination. "Together we will do it." And with that we stepped forward, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Epilogue. As I reached out to touch the crystal, I felt a sudden jolt of energy coursing through my veins. The darkness seemed to intensify, and I could feel its power surging through me. But just as I was about to make contact with the crystal, a figure emerged from the shadows. It was a woman, her eyes blazing with fury and hatred. "You fools," she spat. "You think you can break the curse. You will never leave this place alive." And with that, she summoned forth a dark and terrifying power, one that seemed to consume everything in its path. I knew then that I was trapped, caught between the Queen's secrets and the darkness of the curse, but I also knew that I would not go quietly into the night. To be continued.